Hey guys, what's up? This is NorbCam coming at you in the wake of the Seahawks-Falcons game yesterday, and what a game it was. NorbCam coming at you courtesy of Hunt's Plumbing and Mechanical, where your problem doesn't stand a chance. Now, this is a very special Skype broadcast here because I am back on the horn with David, SportsLiveInTheATL. As you can imagine, in a game like this, of course, there's a winner and there's a loser. And it's even more painful in a game like this where it comes right down to the practically final play of the game. And to add to that, a controversial end to that play of the game. David, how you doing, man?
I'm not good, sir, but congratulations nonetheless.
Well, thanks. As you know, in football, there's no points for grace or style or anything like that. A win is a win, so we always take it when we can. But I feel your pain. I know what it's like to be so close and to have it not go your way, and even worse when it feels like it's at the hands of the officials.
Mm-hmm. This is how I see it. I mean, I want to give a shout out to I think the guy you did a video with last week, Gang Green. He's been following my channel, so shout out to you, brother.
Which he did, and he did make good on his bet, doing the.
Yes, I saw it. Yes, he's a good guy, man. So I'm following you, man. Sports Live is keeping an eye on you. But the game, man. Congratulations to the Seahawks, Norb. I saw your video, man, when you were driving home, all horse and all. I bet that was just awesome to be at. But it was tough to kind of lose a game like that because of. The situation, I understand exactly what's happened during the game. I saw a lot of the bad calls, not just for us, but for Seattle, too. It's like somewhere along the way, these officials have to understand that it's not about them. And it's just because the players are the ones that ultimately played. But I am glad, if I take anything out of it, I'm glad that the game lived up to what it was expected to be. Fox made a right choice, guys. But I just wish that, because I've been debating it all day, Norm. I would have rather have. This is a tough question. Would you have rather gotten blown out when we were down 17-3, or if y'all were down 17-3 per se, or a close game all the way out and lose the way we did, or how would you feel if you guys were never in the game and came close and then all of a sudden lost it? It's a mix of emotion, man. But I can take the solace of knowing there's no moral victories, but. The Falcons are back, man, and I firmly believe that we are built to succeed now. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting Dan Quinn come here. Because that fire that I saw on the sideline when that play ended was something that we've been missing here. It's not going to give the game back, but, it is what it is. But, I talked a lot before, and I'm giving you back now, YouTube and Norb and your 12th Man Faithful. Congratulations. Tough. Extremely tough for myself to swallow, but I'll be all right.
I know you will, and I must say that I thought it was a great game, obviously, to have won it. But even that aside, if you look at the entire game itself, Seattle pretty much dominated most of the first half to get a 14-point lead. Should have had more, but we had a few execution things that didn't go our way. But the way you guys came out of that second half, roaring and just getting 21 points in one quarter with suddenly your passing game just coming alive. Obviously, whatever Dan Quinn said to your guys' team and whatever adjustments they made really worked, because suddenly we were on our heels and we felt like we were watching a different game. It was like, man, what two teams just came back out on the field? It surely wasn't the two teams that came out in the first half. So props to them for not giving up, for not quitting, and for not only coming back but then taking the lead. We were definitely, as fans, a little panicked at that point, but it was still close. So we were, still obviously had faith in everything, but we were concerned. It was not looking good for a while there. But I thought that was great about it. It was all Seattle in the first half. Pretty much all Atlanta in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter it was pretty much kind of back and forth, where it was the scoring got really tight, and it came down to we had a couple miscues and the missed field goal, missed extra point. You guys then had the turnover at the perfect point of the game where we needed it, that led to us getting back the lead, and then of course it coming down to a final drive where one team's got to make a play, and what more can you ask for as far as drama and excitement out of a football game? It doesn't really get much better than that.
Because remember, you and I had talked about I believe during the pre-video a couple of days ago, field position, short field. Remember, I think we talked about that, right?
Yep.
And then the first mistake was us. Yeah, the first mistake was us by Matt Ryan fumbling the ball at 5 or 10 or whatever it was, and y'all got a short field. And then the interception at the 50-45, it's like, and then all you really had to go was about 30 yards for a legitimate field goal. And am I right? It was like the 50 or 45 was
Yeah,
it?
Earl Thomas took it back to the 50-yard line, so we had to go, about 20 yards to get into a decent field goal range.
And Hauska's a really good kicker. And remember, Hauska played here briefly. So it's not, I know what he can do, and you can't give, we had a lot of chances to put this game away, and you cannot give a team at home, especially at the Seattle Seahawks caliber, that many opportunities in a short field. So it's like, people don't understand, we don't play the game anymore, because I played in high school, I don't know about you, but
yeah, I did too.
We know the game. And we know the game. It's like, you give a short field enough time, and you're going to capitalize. But I'm just proud of my guys for coming back. And, Atlanta's been proven to make a lot of long drives this year so far in the games. And, it sucks that, Matt Ryan and Julio and Justin Hardy and Levine Tiolu and these guys who busted their tail in the ball game couldn't be rewarded with the win. But up here, we got nothing to be ashamed of. And like I said, I hope to play y'all in the playoffs. If I can please give a few shout outs for my friends who make videos here on YouTube, Fantasy Football, Aries Falcon, KB50. You may want to check these guys out. They're really sports knowledgeable, sir. 12th Man Faithful, Super Falcon. Who else makes the videos for us besides myself? Chris Kraft. These guys are really good Falcon video makers, and I believe that you guys would enjoy following them. And, and I do want to give a shout out to Seattle Seahawks vidmaker Super Rookie. I haven't watched many of his videos and stuff, but, it's all about competition, man. And unfortunately, one team had to lose. It was us. But I don't think we lost, even though we lost. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We put a presence that said we can contend with anybody. But the Seahawks are a damn good team. That defense is crazy. You guys came out early, and I knew that was going to happen. But I thought Matt Ryan held well, and I hope Michael Bennett is healthy. I hope he's okay. I hate to see something like that.
Right. And I think, I think he's going to be okay. It sounds like it's not too serious. I'm not sure if he'll be ready for next week. Hopefully he will be. But, it was, he was pretty upset about that play, that, I guess, cut block that was done on him there. That obviously
by Jake Matthews,
There was no penalty on it. He came out of the game as a result. But, it happens. Like I said, and I think that's the thing. Going back to that pass interference call. I know I watched your video, your immediate reaction after the game, and I know you're pretty pissed off. Understandably. I guess talking about that call, no call. What's your feeling on that pass interference? Obviously, I know that in your video, you basically kind of pretty much blamed it on the officials why you guys lost that game. Do you still put the weight on that's the reason guys lost?
Let me see. How can I word this? That's not the main reason why we lost. We lost first of all because Seattle scored more points. But we lost when we couldn't capitalize and we fumbled at the 50 or 40 late in the game with a 1-point lead. We lost the ball game. Yeah, that one. We lost the ball game when we fumbled the ball at the 5. Don't get me wrong. Seattle, they made some good plays. I was really surprised that Russell Wilson wasn't pressured more. It seemed like he was pressured some. That blitz sack by Trufant obviously was good, but I don't know why we didn't go back to that because he was kind of nursing a little bit. But it's hard for me to go back and say a million things about it. We did some things wrong that cost us to be down 17-3. You guys caused some of it. What's his name? Christian Michael, is that his name?
Christian Michael, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a good successor from Marshawn Lynch, honestly. I don't really think, and don't take this the wrong way, but I don't really think the Seattle Seahawks did a massive amount as they used to do in the past. I think Seattle took advantage of a lot of what Atlanta gave you. I'm not trying to take away from the win for you guys, okay? But I didn't see long drives by Seattle. I didn't see dominant. I mean, the defense was good, but I mean, if you're going to be dominant completely, you're going to go through the whole game. Because I remember a couple years ago, Seattle was dominant the whole game a lot of times. You guys have a weakness. Atlanta exploited that in the third quarter. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that Seattle was fully dominant in the game, but, you know, Seattle, I mean, the pass interference call was a tough one to take. Again, I'm trying to be respectful and G-rated for you and your fans.
That's fine. Appreciate that.
No problem, sir. But, I mean, I don't understand how a referee who's parallel, like me and you are basically right now, with nobody in the way, and sees not one, remind you, Norb, not one, but two guys on Julio Jones, the best receiver in this game right now. And Sherman underhooks his arm, and he's right there. I mean, I don't know if there's such thing as intimidation, or maybe he wanted Seattle fans to leave happy. Maybe he had free tickets to the buffet and he didn't want to lose it. I don't know. but you know what I'm saying, Norb? But I find it's hard for me to accept an obvious blown call. I mean, I have to. It's my, you know, it is what it is. But as a competitor and a huge fan of my team, I mean, I would have rather have been more, like I said, like I told you before we started recording, I would have rather have been incomplete or knocked down with a hand, and just a great play by either Sherman or anybody, you know, as opposed to something like that. Because that right there, like we talked about, that is what people love to pick at after a game. They like to pick at a lot of controversy. And unfortunately, as great as this game was, it's going to be shadowed by that. So the way I see it, we meet in the playoffs and we settle it like they do in the Old West.
Yeah.
Mano a mano, man. Got to beat you.
Well, my take on the pass interference was watching in the game. I was on the TV camera side, and so from that angle, I could not see anything with the arm. But of course, in real time, bang bang, it looked like a totally clean play because everybody was turned around, looking at the ball, hands were going up, everyone was attacking the ball. So it looked like it was just everybody just jumping up for it, like you would like in a Hail Mary. Everyone's just going up for it, and you know we were just holding our breath to see if he caught it because at first we thought maybe it did, and then we realized it hit the ball, it hit the ground, it was incomplete, and we all let out a scream of relief. But at the time, until I got home and started watching the replays, I didn't even know there was really a controversy on the end because they weren't showing the replay. So, it's possible that with, I don't know anything about the official, all that whole stuff where it's kind of conspiracy theory that he had a reason why he was going to give that game to Seattle. I don't necessarily buy that unless I actually have any kind of definitive proof, because there have been calls that went both ways, questionable during the whole game, that could be argued, one side or the other. However, looking back at it, Sherman did clearly have his arm as he was going up, which, if by the rule of it, makes that a pass interference call. And, if it was my guy doing it and we were to trade places and it was Jimmy Graham going up for it and your guys is defending us, I probably would have been upset too and said, hey, where's the penalty on that? Right. So I can't say here truthfully and say I don't believe it was not that it was a good call, because I'm sure I would have been upset the other way around. So I just think it was one of those things. Maybe the view he had, we did have Earl Thomas was also in the mix. Maybe the fact that all three of them were going up, he didn't have the clear view of the arm because it was kind of pinned behind. It was sort of in between the guys, so it wasn't, to me, really obvious until you look at it in slow-mo. Then it became more obvious. But that's just kind of my view on it. It's unfortunate that the game has to end on a referee controversy. It should never be about the referees in a game, and it's very possible that, of course, they, oftentimes on a fourth down play, when it's the last game or the last essential play of the game, that sometimes the officials will back off a little bit and not call things so tight because they don't necessarily want to have a play end on a game-changing penalty, much like Super Bowl 47, where do you remember that 49ers against the Ravens? There was kind of a controversial possible.
Yeah, but you want to know something, Norb? If you don't want that, it's like with whatever we do in the line of work, when people doing work, you're expected to do your job 100% or you don't do it. If you have any kind of reservation about making the right call at any moment, then you shouldn't be doing what you're doing.
No, I
agree. You see what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Because, I mean, you can't make a play a couple series prior, a couple minutes prior, at the goal line, which I mean, it was obvious. Robert Alford was pass interference. That's what he does. But you can't make that play and that call that quick, and an obvious call that's right in front of the official, two of them, mind you, and not make the call just because it's fourth down. What? So if it's second down and with 5 minutes to go, you make the play, but if it's the last play, you don't. You know, I mean, to me, the last play in the last couple series, the last couple actually plays of a tight ball game are the most important. So that's where each player on each side is going to try to get an advantage, right?
Right.
So you're going to see a lot of maybe little this and that. So as an official, you have to be schooled, say, hey, you've got to be unbiased. You've got to call it right down the middle. If you call it for one, you got to call it for the next. That's what I have a problem with.
Well, I agree. It drives me crazy when it's not consistent. All I want is consistency as well. And what I really think they should do, they should make pass interference a reviewable penalty, because when a game,
they were talking about that.
Yeah, because when a game is possibly hangs in the balance, it's much like the reason they put review in baseball now, and just like they did at the end of basketball games, where if it's a last minute shot where it's right at the buzzer, they don't call it good. They check it to make sure it's out of his hand. When the game is so pivotal on one moment, I think you want to make sure you get it right. And so they've changed the guidelines with those other sports with moments that have been blown before. I don't see any reason why they don't on something as big as this, because a pass interference can be a play that could cost the team 50 yards. It can make or break the game for either team. So I think that should be a thing that can be reviewable. That way, if they don't know or they possibly missed it, they can get it right. And that's what I think they should do.
Let me ask you a question. If that play was called, and I'm pretty sure, because you seem like a sports knowledgeable person, Matt Bryan is our kicker. How worried would you have been? Because you know what he did before. Do you think? I mean, it's just a hypothetical question. I honestly believe he probably would have made it, but who knows? But I would have loved the opportunity, because he's a really good kicker. Would you have been because I think you said, would you have been able to look at that kick, or would you have had to turn around a little bit and hear the crowd and hear what happened?
Oh, man. Well, I don't think it would have come down to the field goal right at that moment, because I believe you guys still had like a minute left.
Yeah, we had a timeout. We could have gotten a couple,
so
3-4 more
it wasn't
plays.
like you were kicking from that spot. So if you had actually gotten the ball, I believe you would have come down with it about the 42, 45 yard line maybe of Seattle. So you weren't even necessarily stopping and kicking from there. Obviously, from that point, it would have been a hard field goal. My thought is, you get down there, spike the ball, or call a timeout. There's a good chance you guys get another 5-10 yards on the next play or two. Then you're easily in pretty makeable field goal range. It's not a guarantee. It's probably a high 40s field goal. But I would have been nervous as hell. That's why we were all holding our breath, waiting to see if he came down with it, because had you guys done it, it would have definitely changed the possibility of a different outcome. Not guaranteed it. It wasn't like he caught it in the end zone, but it would have been definitely the percentages of you guys possibly coming back and scoring definitely would have gone up. So, it's, we'll never know, but the chances
I just would have rather it, Norb. I would have rather it have ended. I mean, even if Matt Bryan would have gotten an opportunity and missed the field goal per se, at least that would have been in our control.
Right.
It's just really tough to take, but it is what it is. The Seahawks won the ball game. You guys, I wish you all the luck the rest of the way, obviously, and I really hope to meet you in the playoffs. There's another shout out, if I could say. His name is Bad Dog 7676. He's a New York Giants fan. I recommend you watching his channel. I recommend you checking it. He's an old school guy representing the New York Giants. I don't know if he's on your schedule. He's respected by a lot of people, and he's just a good cat. You got Simus 1974 from the Cowboys fan base, and but I'm looking at the Chargers, and I don't know if you do a lot of predictions, but how do you expect the Falcons have San Diego and Green Bay back to back? Green Bay lost at home to Dallas. How could you see this loss affecting either the Falcons in a positive or negative? I expect us to beat San Diego, and I think a good chance to beat the Packers. And then your Seahawks, how do you see the next couple games panning out from this game?
Well, my thought on the Falcons after this game is they're definitely for real. They're definitely what they have been advertised to be, and they got a great offense. Defense is pretty good, is pretty solid as well. But I think really kind of the way this whole season's played out. A lot of the teams I thought were going to be a lot more formidable are a lot weaker than I thought, and a lot of the teams I thought were weaker than that were going to be weak are actually better. I'm almost going to say the Packers, they're looking a lot more vulnerable than I would have ever expected, especially in Lambeau and the way Dallas did to them. Now, maybe that's just speaking how good Dallas is, but I think there's a good chance looking ahead. I think you guys have a very good chance of beating them even down there. But San Diego might, they've kind of blown it. They should be having a lot better record than they have. They've blown so many fourth quarter leads in the most improbable ways. So I think the Chargers are actually better than their record says. They might actually give you a harder time than I think maybe you're even anticipating than say that what the Packers would have done. So I'd be a little nervous that could be a trap game because the Chargers are easy to overlook because of their record, but I think they're actually a better team than when it shows.
Well, I just don't want the emotional letdown of this to affect us, because if we're playing on all cylinders, it's a game that's extremely winnable. So.
I think it'll do the opposite, actually, because I think after this win, you guys are probably really mad, and I would imagine they're going to be ultra-focused, as opposed to the opposite if it was like a win that just took everything out of them and then they have a letdown like, oh, it's the Chargers. I think now you guys are even more fired up to win this next game. So I predict you guys are going to get the next two games and keep things rolling.
Appreciate it. So what about your Seahawks, the next two games?
Well, in my prediction, I'd actually my prediction video at the beginning of the season had said that I thought the Seahawks would lose to the Cardinals in Arizona next week. I actually think Arizona is also, they won last week, but I think they're actually, we'll see how they do. I think they're playing tonight, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
We'll see how they do, but I don't know. They're looking a lot more vulnerable as well. So I think we have a better chance of winning down there this coming week. So I'm counting on both the Falcons and the Seahawks to go 2-0 the next 2 weeks.
Do you, Norb, and you Seahawks fans, do you want to meet this team in the playoffs, and how confident are you, and where would you want to play? Because I believe that the way that this went down, we will beat you in the postseason.
Regardless of where we play.
Regardless of where we play. Because we proved, obviously you want to keep it at home in Seattle. And see, I'm looking at you now because I'm so focused on this. Obviously you want to play in Seattle. That's quite obvious. And you know what we do in the playoffs here against you guys. How confident would you be either way? Atlanta, Seattle, and if we did meet in the playoffs, what would you risk? I mean, not fan wise, as a heart wise, but from a realistic sports fan, would you be concerned?
Well, oh yeah, I think you guys are going to be one of the tougher teams that should be standing at the end of the season, and yeah, a rematch with you guys would definitely make me nervous. However,
I want it.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a great rematch. But I think what will be different, assuming everything else stays the same, is that a couple things we were missing in this game defensively. We were missing Cam Chancellor. And we were missing Frank Clark, who adds a huge pass rush dimension. We were already had a pretty good pass rush going on, you guys. But
as if you need somebody else. Are you kidding me? Jesus.
So Frank Clark wasn't in there. But Cam Chancellor, he's a huge part. And I think a big reason why we had that communication breakdown where we were giving up those scot-free receivers running down the field in that third quarter. Mm-hmm. Cam Chancellor's kind of the hub. He's kind of the leader of that team, and him not being out there, while I can't say that was the only reason, it contributed, I believe, to why we had some of those miscues, because it was obviously...
So you don't think Atlanta would have done that if Cam Chancellor was in the game, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying for sure, but I'm saying it's very possible it would not have been a 21-point, very bad plays. They were almost single-handedly 3 bad pass plays in a row that resulted in those touchdowns. I don't think they have all 3 of them. Maybe they still get 1, maybe they get 2, but I don't think all 3 have miscues if he's in there. That's just kind of my bold prediction. So, assuming that we get those guys back in the playoffs, I get a little less nervous knowing that he'll be, those guys will be back. Plus, hopefully Russell's even more mobile than he is right now, and we haven't been talking about Thomas Rawls because he's been out the whole season, and he's the guy I was counting on to be our big workhorse running back. So, I'm expecting.
What if you played in the Georgia Dome? What if you played here in the Dome?
Oh no, that'd certainly benefit you guys. I would definitely want to play at home here. It's going to be cold. The weather would certainly work to our favor. But you guys are dangerous in your own house. I think we both are. So But
like we talked about, I plan on, if it works out that way, if we meet in the playoffs, Seahawks come here to Atlanta, I got you. We meet in Seattle, I'm gonna do my best to make that trip up there because I would love to make a trip to the Pacific Northwest, because trust me, and I've said this before, the other places I've gone, Seattle will never be the same.
All right.
You understand? But congratulations, Seahawks fans. You guys, I mean, just like you said earlier, I can't sit here and say y'all deserved it. I can't say that with honesty. If you look at my videos, Norb, I've said it many a time. I've respected a lot of teams and stuff, but I can't say with a straight face that y'all deserve that win. But you got it. That's all that matters, is who wins at the end of the game. But congratulations nonetheless, and we'll be back.
All right. Yep. We will see at the end of the year where we all stand, but I think there's a good chance these two teams meet again. I'll have to agree to disagree with you on that we didn't deserve that win, because if you take that left out, we did a lot of things to still fight back ourselves to overcome adversity and injury. But
and the face paint is coming. The face paint is coming, guys. I promise. I'll know, because I hear some comments under the videos, mine and his, that y'all are looking forward to SLITA putting on the green and blue. I got you on Friday. I got you.
All right. I trust you'll follow through. I can't wait to see that. It's going to be fun to watch you.
I might throw a little extra in there just for you, Norb.
All right. I expect it, man. All right. Well, again, thanks for doing this, man. It's been fun chatting, talking football, and getting the insight on the Atlanta side of things. And hopefully, if things work out, we'll do this again in a few weeks.
Absolutely, sir.
All right. Well, good luck.
Nation, you got a team to be proud of, guys. You should be happy with it, because I know the Seattle is not as dominant as they once were, but they've proven that they're still very formidable. And again, from the bottom of my heart, I hope Michael Bennett's okay. I hate to see injuries like that. That's just that. And Jake Matthews should be ashamed of himself. I don't condone cheap shots. I don't condone that at all.
Yep. All right. Well, good luck to you, man. And we will be in touch. And good luck the rest of the way, you too. I will be watching your videos and I'm rooting for you.
Likewise, sir. Seattle Seahawks, man. I'll see y'all down the road.
All right. Take it easy, man. Go Hawks.
You too.
Nothing I can hear but